Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to my garden. This whole garden season has been much more hands-off than in garden years in the past. It seems like I'm really letting my garden be more spontaneous and unplanned and wild than I have in the past. So it's been a little bit of a different type of garden year for me, but we are approaching fall gardening real soon, and while fall brings in some rest and less intense harvesting and less intense care of the garden, as pest pressure reduces a little bit and summer crops really start to peter off, I'm hoping that some of the things that I'm putting in my garden right now and in the next coming weeks are a little bit more low-key. I'll go through my garden in just a little bit and show you some fun things that are happening, because I really do love this garden season. I'm learning some things. I'm harvesting right now from things that I'll probably never plant ever again. So it's a real joyous year. But what I've done recently is I have torn out all of the plants in a couple pieces or sections of my garden. One being the bean trellis, which really flopped this year for some reason. I haven't really figured out the cause for that. It also had some leafy greens in here that got demolished by pests. Totally normal, completely expected. And then the flower bed in the center of my garden started to peter out and not do as well as I wanted. I think it was too packed in there. I put too much in there this year. But I had some great zinnias, some really pretty flowers. I really love that part of the garden. And then the hotbed mess that has lemon balm and other wild things growing in it, I tore out some of the things in there because lots of it will reseed next year. But I put a fresh layer of soil on all three of those sections. And that will be the primary places that I'm starting fall plants. And then as pepper plants start to get torn out, because that's most of my garden, I will start to replace some of those sections of the garden with fall crops like cauliflower, a lot of broccoli. That's my big kind of goal this year, to really grow broccoli for the first time. Kales, lettuce, a couple bush beans that I think I can fit in at the end of the season, a couple things like that. That's kind of the goal. Okay, so for today I have a couple things I just want to get into the soil. Some of these, this is a rampini broccoli. They have 2 or 3 sprouts in each container. They all had an insane germination rate. So I'm going to quickly place them here. And they're still itty bitty plants, but I think that'll be completely fine. All right, I'm gonna make 3 holes and separate these out. Oh, the root structures are actually pretty good. It's probably gonna destroy them because they're so close, but we'll do our best to keep them semi-intact and as disturbed as it gets. Those 2 did pretty good. Okay, let's put this one here. Now, one thing that's been so drastically different this year is having a toddler. And having a toddler, a boy, is not for the weak. This year has been cold after cold, illness after illness. And we've got most of that figured out at this point, but man, daycare, working full-time, it all really comes at a toll sometimes to us. But I've really found that my breaks that I do get, in the garden in particular, have really helped to simplify my free time, make me focus on one task at a time, regain a little bit of strength, patience, perspective. So while I haven't been as present in the garden this year as maybe I have in the past, I'm really grateful for all the things that it's given me this year. because my garden is more than just a hobby to me. It really is the place I go to, a place I do my most thought-provoking thinking, where I go for inspiration. Oh, come on, little guy. There you go. Get on in there. And it's where I go to, talk to myself. Which sometimes that's what's needed to solve a problem. Even something that really can't be solved, but, thinking out loud helps. I put some cauliflower here and here. There's 2 of them. There's some Romanesco broccolis right there in the center. There's 1, 2. And then that's all the rampini broccoli sprouts down there. All real tiny. But it's raining today and it's cooled down significantly. So I think that's kind of a good start. I'll leave some in the tray, which I'll bring back to my greenhouse, my indoor, light room. And I think those can continue to develop. If these go bad or anything else, I can rely on these as backups. So, no big deal. I also put some purple broccolis here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, we'll see. There's actually a 5th right here. I just placed 2 right next to each other. They might compete, but that's okay. So one of the interesting things about my garden this year, it's really the year of the vines. I normally have a lot of things growing up my trellises, and this year it's wild. There's a lot going on in every trellis, and they're all really just morphing together. So this side has 2 loofah plants and some cucumbers flanking them, and this and this, the 2 loofahs, have gone up, then I've had to put them back down, so there's kind of looping vines, and then at some point I just kind of let them go, and there's loofah vines, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 even, because they will branch out from the, the center vine, the main vine, and create other arms, and they have gone all the way across another trellis, all the way. So I've had a couple orb weavers this year, and they've been knocked down by wind. I was trying to reach back and get that vine on the side of my house. My gosh, I almost ran straight into him. Hello, buddy. Well, I won't be bothering him. He got way bigger. He used to be a lot smaller and closer to the ground, so I could spy him. Anyways, these are all the strawberry runners that came off my plants that I put in, those pots hanging off the side of my grow tower. And this one's empty, but nearly all of them survived and did real well. And the rest of my grow tower is already filled with the other runners. I got about 2 trays worth of them. It was honestly a real good success. And then hot peppers are doing extremely well. My Bueno Mulato plant is insanely productive this year. A lot of them are off right now because I regularly come out and pick these like crazy. Because they're not the biggest sized pepper, there is a bajillion different flowers constantly growing on the plant, and then they don't take that long to mature and get to a good size that's ready for picking. So this still stands as one of my favorite peppers. It's so consistent. My jalapeno plants, this is a new bed, new soil, and sometimes when you get new bagged soil, it's just like 50-50 on how much has actually broken down in the soil and how much nutrition is provided. And I generally use pretty good soil. I do find that soil makes all the difference in health. But this bed is in a new placement in the garden because it's brand new, so I wasn't sure how peppers would do. I did have the shade cloth covering this pepper bed at one point, but I recently took it off because it cooled down a little bit, and peppers generally kind of like intense heat. So a decent jalapeno year for sure. We do have a lot of peppers on here. I've been drying most of them, sticking some in dinners. This mammoth basil is just so pretty. but it blocks everything. And what it's blocking is, check this out, Carolina Reapers, a green one, a more orangey one that's about to turn more red, and then the bright red one in the back. Wild. Tons of super hots. And this pepper plant is surprisingly really productive. So I'm pretty proud of that. Again, never gonna grow it again, so this will be the last time, but it is fun to do something wild and unpredictable like growing a super hot. Banana peppers are prolific. They're back there. Just recently picked. Banana peppers seem to be one of those peppers that kind of just grows like a weed. But we've got a couple different varieties, some larger ones. And two things are surprising this year with my peppers. One, my potted peppers are not doing nearly as well. And last year, my potted peppers did the best. So these are pretty pathetic. I'm probably just gonna toss these out, or I'm gonna top these off with new soil and put some broccolis in here and keep these functional. And then the other thing that's surprising is my pepper plants are starting to see some disease. And in past years, I really haven't had an issue with disease in my pepper plants. So it's kind of my first time dealing with it. Mainly I come in and just pick off the affected issue, leaves or stems. But it's really slowed down production. But what you can see is because I've been doing an okay job at picking off some of the peppers, what has happened very recently is a ton of vertical growth. So a lot of this to this is new, and you can see new flowers up top on a lot of these plants. So I'm thinking that means that they're not done for. A handful of white flowers all over, so that's very good. Good signs for future peppers. But the one really robust type of pepper this year, and I'm thrilled because I almost didn't start these and I can't believe I doubted myself, but these are paprika pepper plants. And oh my lordy, have they done extremely well. I've had huge harvests, and I was almost certain that they kind of were done, and I left them in, of course, because I can't pull a pepper plant for any reason. It's just not my style. And they just in the past 2 weeks started putting off a ton of new flowers, and I'm seeing a dozen at least on each pepper plant. I think I have 5 left. So I'm thrilled about that. Really, really thrilled. I think we'll have a really nice harvest coming early fall. So really thrilled about that. Really love those peppers. They've turned out wonderful. I have 2 mason jars at least of just paprika pepper, and that'll last us for more than a year. So I'm thrilled. A couple other peppers just to note. This one is doing very, very, very well and is in these containers. So I have one that's felt and one that's plastic. This is the purple perfume. The one that's doing much better is in the plastic versus the felt, but honestly they're doing quite well. There's absolutely no reason it's the same soil, same everything, that these are doing well and the other ones aren't, but sometimes things just happen randomly like that. But these are hot peppers, little hot peppers, but with a really, really cool flavor. So I'm really enjoying growing those. The sweet moruga, which is that red one right there, it's supposed to look like a hot pepper, but be sweet, and it tastes like soap to me. So I will never grow that again. And I saw reviews for that pepper online, and they said the same thing. So it's not just me. So that's on my no-grow list. I thought it looked so cool, and the advertisements obviously made it sound really cool. So that'll never grow again. This set of peppers over here are actually doing quite well, and the pepper plants are getting quite large. So I've gotten a ton of Jimmy Nardellos. Those are not always my favorite. We've had a handful of Cubanelles, a handful of Big Jim, which is my toddler's one of his favorites because they're so crunchy. He likes them green rather than red. And then the Pippin's Honey Golden, which are mostly purple. I thought they were supposed to be a bunch of different colors, but most of them are purple. But I love that, so that is not a complaint at all. Shishito peppers are coming in okay. Those were sort of the straggler started plants. So they are a little bit smaller, but I have gotten harvests. This is the Carmen F1 right here. You can see they get to a really nice size. There's 3 on there and then a couple of baby ones up top. Doing quite well. Again, I'm not complaining about any of the peppers over here. They're doing very, very well, and they need minimal support. And hornworms, surprisingly, have not touched these ones over here. So, looking great. Last couple updates here. I have one Armenian cucumber that is huge over here. I thought my Armenian cucumber plant did not germinate at all. So I'm glad to see that it is, and that I have one. So I'll take that as a win. Next to this is a cucumber plant, putting off regular cucumbers. I have an absurd amount of cucumbers this year. It was kind of a mistake, but I've been putting cucumbers washed whole in a blender with lime and water and a little bit of sugar, and it's been the drink of the summer. They use cucumbers like it's nothing, and I'll just serve it like that. So the other things that I have here are ginormous squash. I have one inside that I'm gonna probably make into sauce today. There's one down there as well. A silver slicer cucumber, which have been much easier and nicer and more pleasant to eat. There's another silver slicer. And then this trellis that used to be tomatoes is now pretty much exclusively cucumbers. So I'm out here every 2 to 3 days. Another cucumber right there. Harvesting, and I still can't even stop them from coming in. Cucumber, 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 baby cucumber, cucumber, another cucumber. Like, they're everywhere. It's a lot. It's a lot. And that's, of course, going on to the second trellis. So, year of the cucumber by accident. I said I wanted to plant extra seeds this year because I have failed at cucumbers in the past. Turns out, I can grow cucumbers. So yeah, that's kind of everything that's been going on in the garden. Fall is starting, and lots of things are still being harvested. I have had so many great harvests this year, and I've mostly let the garden just do what the garden does and take care of itself. And we've had so much rain this year, it really has not been a challenge at all to take care of the garden. So yeah, thanks for checking in with me and seeing the garden as it is early August, and hopefully I'll check in soon when these broccolis start to do a little bit better and get larger in the gardens. Thank you for joining me today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.